Hi guys, we are here at the Power Tour 2023 and I am just walked across one of my favorite builds ever. This is the Horseforce from Treadwear. I'm here with my buddy Michael Hunt. How are you doing, Michael?
I'm doing really good. If you haven't heard of Treadwear, we're the creators of the DIY permanent tire graphics, so you can put whatever you want on your tires. But every day we try to spend some time in the shop building cool cars.
Cool.
And with this, we wanted to kind of see how far we could push the envelope in building a really cool low butt build.
Okay. All right, tell me about the car. So obviously we can see that there's some body modification.
Yeah.
This is built, so the body is a 72 Mach 1 Mustang, right?
Yeah, so this is one of these things where I was at a local junkyard not too far from our house, and I saw this car sitting in the back of this junkyard. I'd never seen it before. I'd been on the yard before, but it was the original Mach 1, but it was just begging for somebody to do something with it because it was a shell, had been picked clean. And a lot of what you're looking at here, though, is original paint. So the hockey stripe down the side,
right.
The Mach 1, a lot of the old Ford Wimbledon white is original.
Right.
When we did the wide body, I wanted to just cover up the new metal and make it match with the old. So that it has a story to tell, right?
Right.
And we didn't want to cover that story up. We wanted to let it sort of amplify it.
Right.
So, anyway. And again, in the idea of being low butt, we took a piece of the car to Home Depot and we said, hey guys, mix this in enamel for us.
Oh, wow.
So anywhere we have new metal, like right here,
yeah,
we just rolled it on and it matched really well.
Yeah.
And then just made it blend with the original paint. And then I added these stripes, the red and the blue on either side of the hockey stripe and the black across the top. And it was kind of we were going for kind of a Herbie meets Mad Max, Death Race 2000 kind of vibe.
So it's Mad Max Herbie. That's
yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And because we kind of wanted to pay homage to the old 70s campy sci-fi movie cars, we made up our own movie. We called it Horseforce. Okay. And of course, Mustang, Horseforce, what's better, right? So
sure.
The idea is that this is sort of a dystopian future, and this was the star of the show. And the idea is it was found in a barn somewhere out west, and we rescued it, and here it is.
Okay. Now tell me about these side pipes.
Okay, so I mean these cars needed side pipes, if you ask me. If you remember the old Matchbox Mustang that they made in '74, shortly after this car was built, they all had the side pipes on them, right? And a lot of them had the big engine sticking out the top. But we wanted to kind of create our own life-size version of that old Matchbox car and give it that kind of toy, make it look like a large toy.
Yeah.
And so the side pipes are a big part of that, and of course the hips and the Coke bottle flare that we did all the way across also kind of gives it that. And then to kind of bring it on home with the fantasy idea, we put guns in the front, 223 two barrels coming out,
right.
so that it's sitting there shooting away at the bad guys. So
awesome, very, very cool.
And as far as the front end of the car is concerned, you know, the original Mach 1 is really good looking, but we wanted to really accentuate the sexy curves of the front and the flares, and so we did a bumper delete and fabricated this whole lower valance to let it wrap right around underneath, and then of course added a Trans Am style, IMSA style front spoiler to kind of finish it off.
Right. Very cool. Very cool.
And the American racing wheels, they just had that really good classic feel, and they had a really nice wide offset. They're 10-inch wheels all the way around. We're running 325 tires in the rear and 295s in the front. And again, it gives it that really radical stance, that steamroller stance that we were looking for.
Right. Now, okay, so we're looking at a modified, wide-bodied 72 Mach 1 Mustang.
Correct.
But what is that body sitting on?
Yeah, it's a great question. So when we got this car, it was so bad that I was able to remove the rear bumper with my bare hands. So there was no tail pan at all. The trunk, the floors were all gone. So we knew, instead of trying to restore the original car, the best bet was to find a chassis donor.
Okay.
And one of the most underappreciated chassis, in our opinion, is the Lincoln Mark 8.
Okay.
The Mark 8, as a lot of you know, is really the same as the Thunderbird, except for they had the air suspension. Well, this one had already been converted over to coils, but basically the DNA is awesome. You know, independent rear suspension, coil springs all four corners. It's got a Super Coupe 323 cast iron rear end. But the real fun part is the dual overhead cam 32 valve 4.6.
Wow.
And so we the 4.6 was upgraded with the actual Cobra intake, and then we built the side pipes, freed up the exhaust, put a tune on it, and she loves to make great noises, loves to rev, and it's just a great platform.
Very cool. So with the Mark 8, is that where we're getting the number 8 here?
No.
I didn't know. Okay.
Great question. Okay, so actually somebody else even pointed out that Herbie Goes to Monte Carlo is called Ocho because 5 plus 3, 53 equals 8. But that's not why it's 8 either. The reason it's 8, it was serendipity, I guess you could say, is because this is our number 8 build.
Okay.
So we number all of our builds. So this is number 8, and that's why it says number 8.
It was just meant to be.
Yeah, it was literally the stars aligned.
Right. I love the helmet. This is great. The
so that's just another piece of
part of the narrative. Yeah,
exactly. And the narrative is important, right? Because the backstory, it's not there to fool anybody. What it's there to do is to give us focus throughout the build, and also a reason for the build to exist. A lot of times you see a car and you're like, why did they do that?
Right.
And the backstory gives us focus. It gives us a reason, and it's a fantasy, right? It's something that should have been all along.
There you go.
And so that's the idea behind that.
It's telling us about the Mark 8 engine here, the Lincoln Mark 8 engine. Let's check this out.
Yeah, so one of the sweetest things is this 4-cam motor. This Cobra motor was really the granddaddy to the Coyote.
Okay.
So you got that that 4-cam 32 valve. It loves to breathe, and really when you package this with the Mark 8, you can see just how well everything kind of sits in there.
It really does.
Like it just nests in there like it was made for it.
It really does.
And so all we had to really do is take the Mustang shell and sort of just integrate it with the Mark 8. So that's Mark 8 right there. This piece of metal right here carries the fenders, and then back there the cowl's welded, everything's welded up. So
this really works. Really works. That is just awesome. And so, you know, I'm kind of familiar with these cars. I have a 72 Mach 1. So, you know, in seeing how you've done, you know, even the hydraulics to raise the hood, that's just really, really cool. But yet you've got the hinges back here.
Yeah. Okay, so anybody who's familiar with NASCAR has recognized that hinge before. This is where we first saw it. We fell in love with it because of the simplicity of it.
Right.
If anybody's ever seen a Mach 1 hood hinge or any really 70s hood hinge, they are giant, heavy,
enormous,
big bricks of, and so this is just such an elegant solution to a big problem. And
brilliant.
That's kind of what it is with these builds, is to try to find the most simple, elegant, and inexpensive solution to a problem.
Right. Right.
And really, when it comes to these kind of builds, that's really all what it's all about, is problem solving, right? It's just a big selection of puzzles, and you tackle it one at a time until you're done.
Right. Man, I love this car. You know, when I first walked up, I was like, oh my goodness. Yeah, the Horseforce is here at the Power Tour, so I was super excited. It's been such a joy to meet you, brother, to talk about this awesome build. I look forward to maybe in the future we'll see some of the other cars that you guys have put together.
Yeah, look forward to it.
Tell me about TredWear.
Yeah, so TredWear, we're an automotive graphics company, and we've started out with graphics on tires. Yeah. And we branched out into some other things as well, but the do-it-yourself tire graphic is really, it's the best bang for your buck as far as a visual modification you can do. And a lot of us will have either a Camaro or a Mustang or something from the 70s or 60s, and they either had red lines or they had white letter tires, or even if you've got a four-wheel drive that you're running 20s on instead of the old school 15s, you want to have that white letter look. And so what we allow you to do is with our kit, it enables you to put that white letter look on any kind of tire, on any kind of performance tire, and sort of have the best of both worlds with the performance of the modern tire, but also have that old school look.
Very cool, very cool. So I might be needing to do some muscle in the mountains tires on my Mach 1.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Absolutely.
All right, brother, so good to meet you. Oh, one last thing. Yeah. Tell me about these tail lights.
Okay, so anybody who's ever admired the back end of a 70 Torino GT, whenever we took the bumper off in this thing with our bare hands and we realized that there was no tail panel left, we were like, and that's the thing about a build like this is when you're presented with a problem, instead of just going back and fixing the problem, make it something unique. Use that opportunity to do something interesting. Sure. And so I started looking at just all different types of single bar taillights, and from the Lincoln to a Thunderbird to an original Torino, but those were very expensive. And I thought, you know what? One day I saw the back end of a Challenger, and this taillight was free. It had a little crack in it, so someone gave it to us, and I was like, I think I can make that work. It was a little bit it was 2 inches too wide, so we just hacked it up. We built a big box in the original tail pan that was flat. Now it's dished in, and we Frenched that thing in there, and it looks like it was made for it, at least from the standpoint of what we were going for.
Right, yeah, for this whole future dystopian look.
Exactly.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
And so that's out of a Challenger.
Yeah, like a 2010 Challenger.
That's awesome. Awesome. Brother, thank you so much. We love your build. It's just a cool car, and look forward to seeing some of the other stuff maybe in the future that you guys have done, and just great work, man. Thanks so much.
Appreciate it. Thanks.